in the coming years. To place that record, in last few days, as you are aware, I joined on the beginning of the year on 1st of January, and it was placed on record before me that the institute has already scaling so many heights, well-learned, enlightened faculty at different stages of seniority, which has both the things, advantages as well as disadvantages. But as in the middle age, I think it is advantages more. How it can be advantages, I'll be orating at the end of my address. When I was going through the annual report presented by the Registrar Office, wonderful achievements and heights has been scaled by the faculty. Different seminars, conferences has been arranged, papers have been presented in various seminars and conferences. About 36 seminars, papers has been presented. 7 of the members attended orientation or refresher courses, and more than 20 research publications has been presented in the recently past year. These are something very good, and I think I have truly said the enlightened faculty. It reflects that the faculty is really the vibrant and thinking faculty in this institution. And it need not my endorsement. What is your record? It is only told by that record. Coming through the results of this vibration, the ripples has been found in the form of academic achievement by our students. 45 students, I might be wrong, but the report says so. 45 students has attained university positions in the last year result. 1 chancellor medal and 3 gold medals are to the credit of our students, and in fact or indirectly to the credit of the faculty of this institution. In sports field, 5 international and 12 national positions has been bagged, along with the overall trophy in men and women section. I think it speaks volumes about the real nurturing mind and body of our students. In the cultural activities, 2 national, 5 interzonal and 12 zonal positions are to your credit indirectly through your students. NSS, boys and girls, both wings are doing wonderful under the able stewardship of the coordinators, NSS coordinator, program in charges. NCC Army wing, boys and girls, both had wonderful achievements, and cadets had represented at different national levels in last year. Placement cell report of the placement of 125 students. Though the percentage is dismal out of, say, when we are having approximately 3,500 students, simple statistics say that about 1,000 pass out of the institute annually. 125 is not very considerable, but it's a good beginning that we are aware of the placement, because the era belongs to such placement or the result oriented or the impact factor oriented education, particularly the higher education. Starting from this overall view of the institution, let's come to the national vision and mission. Tam Soma Jyotirgume. O Lord, lead me from darkness to light. The motto has been well orated. And after this perusal of the achievements, I can say that really the institute, under your steward, able guidance, the students have been enlightened towards the light, and they will be in the coming days also. But at the same time, what is the national scenario regarding the youth? India is claimed to be the youngest nation. The title will be attained by 2020. NSSO, IRIS Knowledge Foundation, UN Habitat and UNESCO endorsed this report that by 2020 the average age of India will be 29 years, and by 2020 we will be the youngest nation of the world, and we will be having by that time about 64% people in the working age, that is the 18 to 59 age group. It is something really wonderful for a nation, means we might be having the thinking brains and working heads pertaining to that workable age. I think the development index 1 is the major contributing factor towards the development index. So we are having hope, we are having opportunities, but how we have to tame that, it depends. The IRIS report, which I recently mentioned, gave this idea also, that we are having the scope, we are having the HR, human resources, but whether we are having only human beings and still we term them as the population only or the exploded population, or we perceive them as the prospective human resources. If really India is perceiving them as the human resources, then as a nation, as governance, our government have to perceive them really as the resources and have to nurture them in two ways, because there is no bypass out of these two things, that is the health and education sector. And if I have to comment on this education sector, our government has already aware about it. In 2000, the government perceived this and started with the education for the masses at elementary stage. Though it has been orated in 1950 in our constitution in Article 48, but without shedding the responsibility on anyone, right to education. It has been found in our article since 1950, but the responsibility was not fixed. The recently passed Right to Education 2000 fixed the state responsibility for providing the free and compulsory education to our children from 6 to 14 years. And that has been carried forward in last 5 years in the form of Rashtriya Madhyamik Shiksha Abhiyan, means the government took the responsibility of extending that education beyond the 8th standard also. Very interestingly and very enthusiastically, I am reporting that the present Millennium Development Goal and the goals fixed by our state government, our central government, union government, of gross enrollment ratio in the higher education, because it is the real education which is required. Our forefathers were visionary enough that immediately after independence, the very first commission which was formed, that was not Elementary Education Commission, that was the University Education Commission, 1952, because they were aware that we need to create those persons who should be able to, who need to be able to lead the nation from their heads. And once again we have visualized that. Just a decade back, the gross enrollment ratio in higher education, means 18 to 23 year age group, it was single digit, roughly 9%. Today, as per the government data, I am taking it as face value, it is 20%. And the millennium goal is 30% target by 2015, which has been fixed at international level. It is the millennium goal for international standards. We are just running after that, not ahead. If I have to give data for comparison, you all know that the developed nations have about 70% or even more gross enrollment ratio in higher education. So I was referring only the enrollment, that we have to scale the height from 20% to 30% in these few of these years. But another challenge, I think the podium where I am standing, the portfolio and the post which I am representing is not, has no worries about the intake and the gross enrollment. But at the same time, government has pronounced Rashtriya Uch Shiksha Abhiyan in the third leg. And this RUSA also shed some responsibility on the prestigious institutions like ours. Now we need to in the coming years have to expand. And a rough responsibility shed upon us is to expand roughly 1/3 of the existing strength. It is the union government target, so that we can achieve the gross enrollment of 30%. Another challenge after the enrollment, because it is a general phenomena, whenever there is expansion, the one-time expansion, the short-term, very fast, rapid expansion usually result in deterioration of quality. It is but obvious. It happened globally. in almost all the nations. But if we are able to curb that depletion, that dip in the quality in next or in second phase, it means that nation survives, that achieve the targets. In the lower education, in the school education, in the middle education, we are in the second phase, where now the whole of the national efforts are put forward towards the quality consciousness apart from enrollment. But in higher education, we are at the first leg. My senior colleagues might be feeling this ripple that our quality is going down. It is obvious. I had already orated. There is no denying the fact that it has gone down. At the same time, it was expected. Because if you permit me bilingual, कि कुछ इस तरह है कि जे ਅਸੀਂ ਭਾਖੜਾ ਦੇ ਫਲੱਡ ਗੇਟਸ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਖੋਲੀਏ ਤਾਂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਾਗਰ ਦਾ ਲੈਵਲ ਡਾਊਨ ਆਉਣਾ obvious ਹੈ. But after some time in the second phase, we need to check that also. So in this national perspective, in this national vision, I think we are shouldering the double responsibility, expanding and supervising the quality also. At national level, if I have to comment upon quality, again giving the data and accepting it at face value, though I have reservations regarding this data, but today in the first address I am taking it at face value. UNESCO as well as NSSO say that the 75% of our technical graduates and 90% of our general graduates are unemployable. And unemployment is not the problem, rather unemployability is the problem. In a way, the finger is pointing towards we people. Though in this closed room where we are the academicians only, we can play the blame game on society, on the socio-political culture, on the economic culture, on the youth trends, on the youth behaviors. But even then, I think these defense mechanisms are not sufficient enough to get rid of our little bit responsibility. We have to own it. We have to accept it. We have to respond to it. We have to react upon it. We have to prepare ourselves for it. We have to nurture for itself. We have to grow for it. And then we have to deliver for it. Only then we can survive. Only when we can be rated the best. Though I missed just one thing in the initial data, that I think perhaps the survey done was in the month of June, when our institute was rated 8th amongst the top 15 institutions of I think it was a 4th states survey of North India. I think it is worth applaud, wonderful. But at the same time, it is a responsibility also. Whether we are scaling from 8th to the 7th and 6th, or we are slipping down to the 9th and 10th. As ORG Mark is conducting annual survey every year, and it is a very interesting game. Every time the institute is going 1 or 2 steps up or down. Once again, the parameters might be decided by that survey agency. We might be having our reservations regarding that, but it is not going to matter a lot. Parameters may change a little bit. Though the ORG Mark having, you might be aware of the parameters on which the assessment has been done. I also having certain reservations, but even then, this difference of opinion or cannot be taken granted as a defense mechanism. So, along with expansion, enrollment, and retention, we are expected to deliver. We are expected to make the students employable. We are to make the student to deliver something. The student of this generation is having, I accept, is having under so many positive and negative influences of media, of political, of society, of splitting families, etc., etc., etc. And they are having either no role models or just skewed role models. I just today put a statement of Shaheed Bhagat Singh under my table, and I have written twice or thrice perhaps, please don't take it as a setback. I'm just quoting because still today Bhagat Singh is fresh as a role model even in the younger generations. Where we are, what we did, in our lifetime. If a person who delivered, who served 70 years back is only the role model, it means we were unable to give another role model in last 7 decades. We have to think about it. We have to ponder about it. And at the same time, if some media or film industry people are their role models, once again, we have to accept the challenge. Why aren't we? It doesn't mean that I have to play in the movies or I need to be very trendy, but even then, I'm exposing myself, I'm introducing myself amongst my faculty through my thoughts. Are we ready to express ourselves through our thoughts to our students? Are we ready to take the challenge that if there are negative influences, that we are taking the challenge head on, that our positive challenges, our positive thoughts, views will also be sufficient for them to stand parallel at least, if not excel those negative influences, if not to surpass those negative influences, we have to. Amongst all these things, perhaps the youth is directionless. Perhaps, I use perhaps intentionally, perhaps the youth is aimless. Perhaps the youth don't have pragmatic goals and targets. And I believe, but there is a big potential. As in the statistical data, I already told the youngest generation. Secondly, the youngest generation of a developing nation, who have to fight for so many things, even for survival. They are our daily routines. Such is our generation. Such is our youth. The risk-taking is the habit of our youth. But what matters, what aim, what direction, what challenge, what goal we are providing them, or we are making them aware of this. Please help me put this slide. Is becoming complacent towards the classroom. अगर shifting से का please रैंप देखो. So amongst this amalgam, our student is becoming complacent towards the actual reality. I'm using 2 words. Sorry for the inconvenience. Actually, it is distracting mode. I was not aware that it has to be installed immediately. Otherwise, I would have used it.
F5.
Our students are a little bit complacent towards classroom. Or rather, I should say, they don't find classroom very attractive place. Who is responsible? It's too early to compliment. I don't say anything. But one thing is very much obvious. In my address to the students, I might be quoting the media also. And what is my observation of all those 4 or 5 examples I must be quoting in my student address, they might be seeing those movies. I'll be giving my perspective. Translated this vision to the action. Is it really happening in our classrooms? Can we truly say with heart that we are true towards all these orated visionary goals? We have to ponder upon it. We have to think upon it. If we just started pondering upon it, I think the hint which I gave that the students are becoming complacent towards classroom, I think the classroom can be altogether changed. I'm not saying classrooms are good, but if I'm not accepting my own responsibility, I might be, blindfoldedness to what is written on the wall. We all are aware. When I'll be saying something in media, I might be saying in some other way. But today, we are among us the academic fraternity. We have to own the responsibility. It's very difficult. Rather, it is a challenge for we people to attract the student in the classroom. I'm not exaggerating perhaps, because it is the national challenge. Not it is the challenge for Modi College. It is really the national challenge for all the institutions, particularly in higher education. So delivering effectively on these goals, I think we need 3-4 things which had been orated under RUSAID, under different other development plans. What we are doing or what we can do for entry level testing. Because these days the impact factors are studied. What was the product which came to us? Sorry, I'm quoting the term, though I'm against that human resources are not products. They are very sensitive matters. But let me say, in what form, with what beliefs, visions or views the youth came with us, and with what maturity they are leaving us. To orate this, we need to test them at entry level. Whether we are testing them at entry level, and then at second stage, whether we are reporting and monitoring their annual growth and making certain plan for some intervention and remediation where we are finding certain loopholes. These are expected from we people in these days. Thirdly, do we have our own plan? I think almost all the universities have given little bit liberty under the internal assessment. Do we have certain our own programs or the extension activities or the associated activities in the form of, say, finishing school, development school, or some other courses which can make them competent to serve as the servants, as the employers, as the job seekers, as the job providers? Are we providing them such activities? I'm not quoting any at the moment. We just need to ponder upon it. Then, are we giving some community outreach? What we are doing for the community, what we are serving for the community, what our students are, to what extent they are sensitized, how they are ready to serve to the nation. Can they be awakened to a single call as the call given by Swami Vivekananda? Can they respond to a single call as given by Mahatma Gandhi? Are they ready to respond to a single call as given by Shahid Bhagat Singh? Are they ready to serve to the community? And if not, we have to think once again. These are some things which we really have to imbibe in our classrooms. I orated in the previous lines that we are having a range at different level of expertise and experience, the faculty members. I'm really blessed. I gone through my classes. I was sharing in early morning with the senior faculty members. I completed my graduation in early 80s, and in those days a big aura was created by the science faculty, because I am a science student of Multani Modi College. We used to refer so many names through the publications which were popular, I think, throughout the North India, not only Punjab. Such was the aura created. Means I can say the persons who had attained an authority, proved their self, they have some field to their credit. Rather, they attained the credit of being termed as the experts in that area. Institutes like this one are really blessed where such mentoring expertise are there. I'm intentionally using this word, mentoring, which is expected in these days, buzzword once again. But once again, it is very interesting that we are having the young faculty also. But what matters, are we really ready to be mentored? Permit me to share something in Punjabi. I can express in English also. But when one have to speak from heart, one switch to mother tongue. Only for want of that. मेरे एक टीचर से when I initial years मैं job join की थी, उन्होंने लाइब्रेरी च उतरते होया करना, उन्होंने लाइब्रेरी नाल एसोसीएशन दसना, जून दियां छुट्टियां तो बाद दे विच जदों उन्होंने सैशन वेले आना तो उन्होंने 2 ਜਾਂ 3 बोरियां भरियां हुंदियां सी किताबां दियां, आउंदियां नूं पीएन नूं कहना ਇਹ ਚੱਕ ਬਈ ਲਾਇਬ੍ਰੇਰੀ ਚ ਲੈ ਜਾ। ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਸਟੂਡੈਂਟਸ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਕਹਿੰਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੀਆਂ ਯਾਰਡਸਟਿਕ ਪੈਰਾਮੀਟਰਸ ਉਹ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਲ 'ਚ ਕਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਬੋਰੀਆਂ ਕਿਤਾਬਾਂ ਦੀਆਂ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਹੋ। Dr. D.S. Pannu, मेरे टीचर जिन्होंने मैं रेफर कर रही हूँ। आई एम स्टूडेंट ऑफ मैथमेटिक्स। जस्ट स्टेज तो बोलते सुनिया पहले दिन, दूसरे दिन लाइब्रेरी च उतरे, खुशविंदर हाँ जी सर तेरे लिए लाइब्रेरी च किताब कढ़ के रख के आया। Those were the day and this is the day. I had read, I think, not too much, but perhaps more than 500 books of motivation, literature, apart from mathematics and my subject. Are we ready? Are we ready to nurture this? He is my mentor. I accept. Rather, I pay my obedience. If I am standing here on this podium, I attribute major contribution to Dr. Darshan Singh Pannu, who nurtured me, who mentored me. But the willpower was same on both the ways. He was having the willpower to mentor me, and I was having my obedience to be mentored and to be nurtured in that way. So dear young faculty members, apart from all the prejudices, are you ready to be mentored by having such a blessed faculty amongst you? Now you have to discover that. The person who is to mentor is not going to catch you. कि आओ मैं आपको बताता हूँ. No, it is the other way. We have to find. गुरु ढूंढना पड़ता है. गुरु चल के नहीं आता. किसी की भी हिस्ट्री पढ़ो, गुरु ढूंढने के लिए बहुत टाइम लगाया होगा लोगों ने. तो आपके पास तो सामने प्रत्यक्ष रूप में खड़े हैं. Just catch them. Because very short period is with you. Catch them if you can. Learn from them if you can. Otherwise, the future will be yours. And if I'm feared, I'm afraid, I really fear what will be the future if this mentoring process really doesn't work amongst our education fraternity, amongst our education circles, which is depleting day by day. But in Modi College, I had met certain young faculty members, and I see the ray of hope amongst these members also. And I'm very much optimistic that it will be happening. एक बार फिर यंग अध्यापक ਨੂੰ रूबरू हो रहे हैं. मेरे लिए क्लासरूम मेरा मक्का है. ਰਿਹਾ नहीं, मक्का है. ਇੱਥੇ ਵੱਡੀ ਐਡਮਿਨਿਸਟ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ. मैं क्लासरूम ਤੇ स्टूडेंट ਨਾਲ ਕਿੰਨਾ ਇੰਟਰੈਕਟ ਕਰ ਪਾਉਂਗਾ, I don't know. But let me accept. The toughest day of my life when my eldest brother departed me by completing his journey on this planet, I was totally broken and shattered. After about a week, I entered the college, and my teacher just held me from my arm and pushed me to the class. Just accept, dear friends, that I spent about 2 hours with my class. And when I came out of class, I was really light-hearted. I was really feeling weightlessness at that time. So I find solace in my life, in my classroom. When I have been burdened with the academic work, I simply went to my classroom. Till 31st of December, I was taking PG class regularly. On Saturday, I take leave from this because I was with my M.Ed class in my previous college. Because on last day, I couldn't attend that. I would like to read just one narration, one anecdote. Nelson Mandela, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਨਾਮ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਹੋਵੇਗਾ. Recently departed us. ਜਿਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਨੈਲਸਨ ਮੰਡੇਲਾ ਯੰਗ ਏਜ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇੰਪ੍ਰਿਜ਼ਨਡ ਹੋਏ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਇੱਕ ਪਰਸਨ ਹੋਰ ਹੋਇਆ ਜਿਹਦਾ ਨਾਮ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ 'ਚ ਕਿਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਇਆ. ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਡੇਨੀਅਸ ਬਰੂਟਸ. ਜਿਸ ਦਿਨ ਨੈਲਸਨ ਮੰਡੇਲਾ ਇੰਪ੍ਰਿਜ਼ਨਮੈਂਟ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਆਏ, ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਅਗਲੇ ਦਿਨ ਭਾਵ ਇੱਕ ਦਿਨ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਦੀ ਜੇਲ੍ਹ ਕੱਟ ਕੇ ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਜੇਲ੍ਹ 'ਚੋਂ ਵਾਪਸ ਆਏ. ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਡੇਨੀਅਸ ਬਰੂਟਸ. बुक एग्जीबिशन लगी दिल्ली दे विच. एक इनविटेशन लैटर भेजा गया प्रोफैसर डेनियस ब्रूटस नूं कि वी विश यू टू इनॉगरेट दिस बुक एग्जीबिशन. उन्हां दा रिप्लाई आया कि इन्हां दिनां दे विच मेरी रिजर्वेशन है, मेरी क्लास है, मैं अपनी जिंदगी दे 26 वरे अपने स्टूडेंट तो परे बिताए ने, मैं अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकता कि मैं इन्हां स्टूडेंट्स तो होर परे रहां. इसलिए मैनू सूटेबल आ डेट्स ने, इफ इट सूट्स ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੇ ਆ ਸਕਦਾ. ਤੇ ਇੰਡੀਅਨ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਯੂਨੀਅਨ ਗਵਰਨਮੈਂਟ ਨੇ ਬੁੱਕ ਐਗਜ਼ੀਬਿਸ਼ਨ ਦੀਆਂ ਉਹ ਡੇਟਸ ਚੇਂਜ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਐਂਡ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸਰ ਡੇਨੀਅਸ ਬਰੂਟਸ inaugurated that book exhibition. These are the examples of classroom interaction and our sincerity and commitment and dedication to the classroom work and to the classroom and our devotion to our students. Are we really committed? Are we really devoted to our students? One of my senior colleagues was sharing with me that they weaved a relationship with their students. Are we in position to weave those fabric with our students? Can we claim that I have this student like my friend, like my son? If not, we have to think once again. And if you are, then I salute you. If you have some of the students to your kitty, I really, from core of heart, I salute that teacher. But if you don't have, nothing is ruined. We have enough tenure with us. Try to gain some students. Try to be with the students. These days, I had already mentioned the mentoring. These days, the professional growth has been rated on different parameters. But it is a very tedious job to make balance between two things. We need to develop professionally. Why? To deliver professionally. So we have to make a balance between two things. To develop ourselves professionally and to deliver professionally. If we are doing one thing at the cost of other, I think it can be detrimental. But very interestingly, both are intertwined, interweaved. If we learn to make a balance, it really weaves a wonderful fabric of quality higher education. And I am assured that we are able and we will be able to weave this wonderful intertwined fabric of quality excellence in ourselves and delivering to these parameters. मैं mentoring ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਢੰਗ ਨਾਲ senior faculty ਦੇ behalf ਤੇ ਇੱਕ couplet ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੂੰਗਾ. For the young faculty, I'm amongst all. Personally among young because I don't have too much gray hairs. हम फकीरों से दोस्ती कर लो on behalf of the senior faculty. हम फकीरों से दोस्ती कर लो गुर सिखा देंगे बादशाहत के. ते साडे ईस्टर्न कल्चर च मेरे ख्याल च बादशाहत अगर किसी को रही है तो अध्यापक को रही है. बादशाह तो बाद अगर उसके बराबर कोई कुर्सी डैंदी सी तो आचार्य दी डैंदी सी. की कारण है कि साडी कुर्सी उथों खिसकदी बहुत पिछे चली गई. की कारण है कि असी उस आचार्य तक तो बड़ा पिछे आ गए. उलांबे हो सकते हैं, डिफेंस मैकेनिज्म हो सकते हैं, पर मैं तो सिर्फ ये दस रहा कि सोसाइटी वो है जिथे यार्ड स्टिक्स ये ने, जिथे दे पैरामीटर्स ये ने, ते अज भी साडी कुर्सी उत्थे बराबर पहुँच सकती है ते है. मैं कोट कर रहा सी साडे फॉर्मर प्रेजिडेंट अब्दुल कलाम, जिस टाइम उन्होंने सौं चक्की उन्होंने सिंगल स्टेट गेस्ट सी. एट द टाइम ऑफ ओथ टेकिंग सैरेमनी प्रेजिडेंट अपने स्टेट गेस्ट बुला सकते कुछ. एक स्टेट गेस्ट सी जिहड़ा कि उन्होंने एलीमेंटरी का टीचर सी, उन्होंने अपना स्टेट गेस्ट बुलाया. अजे भी अगर असी अध्यापक बनते हैं तो साडा मान सत्कार उसी ढंग नाल है. बट आर वी रेडी टू डिलीवर? आर वी रेडी टू गिव? अगर मैं from where we started, what India is, असी education policy we condemn in the name of Lord Macaulay. I'm not condemning, I'm just quoting one letter. But before that letter, let me give what is the amalgam with us in the form of intake. Next please. It is the scenario before us of our institute. Please take it as my modesty or as my instinct to learn. It is homework of my last 3 days only. I had met almost all the offices and it is the data I think which I pertained before you. A few of that I had gone through more than this data. I think majority of the courses are showing incremental growth as in BCom 1 228 whereas started from 180 incremental growth. Majority of BAs, BSc, BSc Medical, BSc Computer Science Next please. They are showing the incremental growth. BCom professional, BCA, BBA. But where we need to reflect and ponder, I don't know. The HODs can, or the faculty members can. What we can do, or what is wrong with our BSc bioinformatics, it is a static position. It might be that we are having intake, I don't know whether of 20 or 40 or 30, why it is a static figure. Again, next please. Similarly, in MSc 1 pharmaceutical, almost dipped to zero. What are the factors? We need to ponder upon it. I'm ready to share. I'm ready to learn. MSc IT, static. PGD, postgraduate diploma in design and tailoring, only 2 students, receding trends. When I'm quoting, I'm not blaming anybody, but we have to think these were perhaps the innovative courses. These were perhaps the new, say, vocational courses, vocation-oriented courses. As the learned faculty members, we have to ponder once again that perhaps the era is over. Once again, we have to shift towards the traditional learning faculties. It's open for us because it will be opening the future growth for us. Whether we need to expand towards the professional courses or the basic fundamental learning courses, I will be more than happy to learn because you can reflect better than me. What Indian education, next please. ਅਸੀਂ ਲਾਰਡ ਮੈਕਾਲੇ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ ਤੇ ਐਜੂਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਪਾਲਿਸੀ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਕੰਡੈਮ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਏਗਾ. ਵਟ ਇਜ਼ ਦ ਰੀਜ਼ਨ? ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਸੀ, ਇੰਡੀਆ ਕੀ ਹੈ? 2 ਫਰਵਰੀ 1835 ਲਾਰਡ ਮੈਕਾਲੇ ਨੇ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਪਾਰਲੀਮੈਂਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਲੈਟਰ ਰੱਖਿਆ. ਹੀ ਹੈਜ਼ ਬੀਨ ਅਸਾਈਨਡ ਦ ਡਿਊਟੀ ਆਫ ਕਲੈਕਟਿੰਗ ਏ ਸਰਵੇ ਆਫ ਇੰਡੀਆ ਐਜ਼ ਏ ਨੇਸ਼ਨ. ਇੰਡੀਆ ਦੇ ਲੋਕ ਕੀ ਨੇ? ਐਂਡ ਹੀ orated, I have travelled across the length and breadth of India, and I haven't seen one person who is beggar, who is thief. Such wealth I have seen in this country, such high moral values, people of such caliber, that I don't think we would ever conquer this country unless we break the very backbone of this nation, which is her spiritual and cultural heritage. And therefore, I propose that we replace her old and ancient education system, her culture, for if the Indians think that all that is foreign and English is good and great than their own, they will lose their self-esteem, their native culture, and they will become what we want them, a truly dominated nation. Isn't this what happened truly in last about 1.5 century? Are we ready to take the responsibility? I think I have shown you the biggest tasks, the biggest goals which are before us. As a teacher, ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ sterile tube ਨਹੀਂ ਹਾਂ. ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕ book reader ਨਹੀਂ ਹਾਂ. ਅਸੀਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕ ਲਾਊਡ ਸਪੀਕਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਪੜ੍ਹੀ ਤੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸੁਣਾਤੀ. Can I really motivate them? Can I really UNESCO, the 4 pillars of learning, your learned faculty ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਦੇਖਣੇ ਹੋਣਗੇ. The topmost pillar is learning to be, and the middle pillar is learning to learn. ਕੀ ਅਸੀਂ learning to learn ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਿਖਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ? ਕੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੋ ਹਨ ਉਹ ਹੋਣਾ ਸਿਖਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ? Learning to be, these are the goals. Today morning we were discussing with some of the faculty members that perhaps we have divided the knowledge into so much small, petty, compartmentalized information sectors merely that the wisdom is missed, that the knowledge is missing. We have divided amongst different nomenclatures: physics, chemistry, math, bio, philosophy, psychology, sociology, chemistry, commerce, etc., etc., etc. But is it really possible to compartmentalize the wisdom? Can wisdom be with the single faculty? It is what we need to ponder upon. It was just, man is known by his thoughts. I believe this. My name has been told earlier. My profile has been read as a decorum. But what I wish I wish to be known by my thoughts, by my vision, which very modestly I had expressed. It is what I am. It is basically what I am. Not those 22 years which has been orated from this stage. I did that, I did this. No. It is, I'm from my heart. I'm completing with just two couplets. नया आलम बनाने को नया मंजर नहीं आता. अगर सिचुएशन ही है तो पोटेंशियल साढ़े कोल बहुत है. Youth is ready to learn. Youth is ready to deliver. If we just gave them a platform, we are just ready to lead them from the front. नया आलम बनाने को नया मंजर नहीं आता. यही कौमें खिलती है, यही जर्रे समर में. हालात बहुत ज़्यादा साजगार नहीं हो सकते. सोशल ट्रेंड बहुत ज़्यादा सपोर्टिव नहीं हो सकते. पर सुरजीत पात्र ने पंजाबी फैकल्टी बैठी है. हो सकता मैं किसी अल्फाज गड़बड़ कर जावा, क्षमा चाहना ਉਹਦੇ ਲਈ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਹੀ, because I am not a man of literature. But literature is close to the heart of each and every man if he or she is living. And I am living. उठ जगा दे मोमबत्तियां, तू जगा दे मोमबत्तियां, ए जो वगन हवामा को पत्तियां, उठ जगा दे मोमबत्तियां, तू जगा दे मोमबत्तियां. बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग गल है. दो कंटेंपरेरी कवितावां लिखियां गईयां सी.
ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਵਗਦੀਆਂ ਹੀ ਰਹਿਣਗੀਆਂ
ਰਹਿਣਗੀਆਂ हवामा को पत्तियां. दो लिखियां गईयां सी. दूसरी मेरा ख्याल सी
ਤਾਰਾ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੀ ਸੀ.
तारा सिंह दी. ਉਹ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਪੈਸਿਮਿਸਟਿਕ ਸੀ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਪੂਰੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ऑप्टिमिस्टिक है. I think through these distorted words, let me say, I have expressed what I wish, what is my vision, what are the mission before higher education of India, and what is
ਤੇ ਮੋਮਬੱਤੀਆਂ
ਲੰਘ ਜਾਣ ਦੇ ਬਾਜ਼ਾਰ ਚੋਂ ਹਵਾਵਾਂ ਤੱਤੀਆਂ. ਕਾਹਨੂੰ ਬਾਲਦਾ ਬਨੇਰਿਆਂ ਤੇ ਮੋਮਬੱਤੀਆਂ, ਲੰਘ ਜਾਣ ਦੇ ਬਾਜ਼ਾਰ ਚੋਂ ਹਵਾਵਾਂ ਤੱਤੀਆਂ. ਸੋ ਆਪਸ਼ਨ ਸਾਡੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਗਰਮ ਹਵਾਵਾਂ ਦੇ ਲੰਘਣ ਦੀ ਉਡੀਕ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ ਮੋਮਬੱਤੀਆਂ ਬਾਲਣ ਲਈ, ਜਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਗੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਮੋਮਬੱਤੀਆਂ ਬਾਲਣੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਹਵਾਵਾਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਦਿਸ਼ਾਵਾਂ ਬਦਲਣਗੀਆਂ ਅਗਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਿਗਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਮੋਮਬੱਤੀਆਂ ਜਗਾਉਣ ਦਾ ਜ਼ੇਰਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ. ਤੇ ਮੇਰੇ ਖਿਆਲ 'ਚ ਇੰਡੀਆ 'ਚ ਟ੍ਰੈਂਡ ਨਵੀਆਂ ਮੋਮਬੱਤੀਆਂ ਜਗਣ ਦਾ कुछ सालों तो हो चुके हैं. तो मेरे ख्याल मैं नहीं कहांगा कि मोदी कॉलेज नहीं सी. आई एम टू यंग टू कॉम्प्लीमेंट. मैं मोदी कॉलेज बारे कोई कॉम्प्लीमेंट नहीं कर सकता. क्यों? क्योंकि मोदी कॉलेज तुहाडा है. मोदी कॉलेज दे तुसीं हो, तुसीं मोदी कॉलेज कारण हो, मोदी कॉलेज तुहाडे कारण है. आई एम जस्ट फाइंडिंग माई प्लेस ऑन दिस पोडियम. With all this, thank you very much for listening patiently, and I humbly accept if any of my words hurted someone's religious or sentimental feelings, because I don't wish to say that. It is my opinion only. If something even then hurted, I take that, but I stand for my words and my feelings and my views. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.